Hi, I'm Daz. This is my Technics RS-BX501. I've owned this deck since new. It's been sitting in my hi-fi for many years. I would have thought probably just since perhaps the millennium. About 2000, 2001 I think I bought this. If I find out any difference I'll let you know. You can tell it's been sitting in my hi-fi. Look at the dust on top of it. I'm really ashamed to show this. Last time I tried to use it, the tape got jammed in it. The most logical explanation is the belt is probably gone by now. I like the powered eject, that is still functional, but I think the belt is, it does sound a bit sluggish actually. I think the belt's too loose. I'm pretty certain I bought this deck because it actually's got ATC auto tape calibration, which I assume is another auto bias like on the Kenwood deck I was playing with, but this is one I've owned for many years. I'm quite surprised actually that I bought this. I think the only reason I bought this is because it was auto reverse. I'm pretty certain my previous deck actually had a 3 heads, so this seems like I bought this as a downgrade, but I've got a replacement belt. I'm going to have a look to see what's inside it and how it's made. And I wonder how disappointed I'm going to be about how much plastic it contains. I've been looking at so many other decks at the moment that are built so long ago. I'm pretty certain I'm going to be disappointed what's inside this one. Okay, so it's a normal clamshell type affair. 2 screws at the side, 2 at the back. Right, let's see what's in here. Am I going to get a surprise? Oh my goodness. Come on. Clip. Ooh. What's in it? Thin air? There's not a lot in here, is there? I'm quite surprised. So there's 2 PCBs at the front. That looks like a processor. Ribbon cables. Very sparse power supply board. The transformer seems to slot in there. NEC Japan IC, another one there. Now, which is the Dolby chips? I have no idea. It could even be under. Ah, here we go. Dolby noise block. Might be a surface mount chip underneath. There. Well, here's the deck. Oh, it has got a metal flywheel. That looks good. So, looking at these plugs, these ribbon cables, I beg your pardon. Looks like there's one to the deck. Here's the audio to the deck. Looks like the arrays is included. There's a 4-pin here, so the arrays head must be included in the connection. So yes, so I would imagine off with that, and possibly this is just pull. Yes. Well, that's the deck disconnected. I can see 2 screws, and I can see a screw down here. So, right, let's undo some screws and see if they're the right ones. Well, what I've decided to do is take the front panel off. So I've already removed the deck screw. I'm going to take the front panel off. I've removed the other ribbons. I thought, well, perhaps I'll go for it this way. There's no doubt a right and wrong way to go about this. So, well, here we go. Here is the deck. It's 2 motors. That must be the head ribbon for auto reverse heads. There's the belt there on one of the flywheels, and they are metal flywheels. Cool. That's cheered me up. I'd been very disappointed if it was plastic. But, you know, this deck was one of the last ones, I guess. I believe this deck runs from 1994 to 2002, and it appears that I had mine, as I said, just over 2000. Here's some switches for detecting the tape types. Again, I can see a connector here on the rear PCB. There's lots of switches on the rear PCB. I'm assuming that the rear PCB needs to come out. I can see a gear on the other motor. That looks like the most logical next step, and possibly I'll have to unplug the head ribbon. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to have to unsolder the motor here and the motor here. These two screws are going to have to come out. Presumably I'm going to have to unplug the ribbon as well. So I'll get on with that. Right, having desoldered the connections, there's a plug here and there's a little clip there. I'm going to... Oh, there we go. Now, is that... Oh, it is. It is a plug there. There we go. That's now detached. A couple of switches there. Right, there we go. Now have the sub-chassis revealed. Some gears. Part of the logic control, no doubt. Presumably there's more screws to remove, but I'm not quite sure what at this moment in time, but right, I believe there's a service manual available for this. I wish I had that, but nevertheless I shall continue. Well, now removed the 4 brassy screws and 2 black ones and left 2 on. Will this sub chassis come up, and or will I be left with about a million screws, gears all over my desk? There seems to be, it seems to lift okay this side, but this side seems to be something attached. So in that case, it's on this side there's a, how would I describe it, like a tooth that's grabbing. So that's that side, but not really sure what's holding on to this side. This is where you can cause a lot of damage if you don't know what you're doing, and I'm guessing here. There is a white pop thing here. Now I wonder, that needs to come out, this little white device. Is it possible to release it with my nail? Yes, so that's come out. Put that there. Now where are we? That rotates. So that's a pinion, rack and pinion. I wonder what that's releasing. Oh, that's releasing the door. I see. Gone right out of shot now. Hey presto, good grief. Oh, some opto pickup devices there, so there's the belt revealed. And I am still in shot, thankfully. There we go. So there's the old belt. Okay, so there's the new belt in position. This is the old one. Looks like there's a little bit of grease on it. There's the fast forward rewind motor. I will clean the motor pulley while I've got it out. I'm going to have a good guess that these two posts might be to help you get the belt back in. So I've popped them on there, and I'm hoping when I work this back in, so I've got to try and move this rack and pinion to get back into this door opening and reposition it, and I'm hoping that, yeah, then just drop it on the pulley. I hope. I've looked at the grease, and the grease looks kind of okay, so you know, it doesn't look too bad, so I'm hoping that I can just realign that back where it was. Hopefully get this back in position. How easy is this going to be? All the cassette decks I've done, this is the most scary one, I think. Oh, yeah, that's got a, now that doesn't look in the right position. That has got to be, that piece of metal there has got to be above that. Yeah, this is a little scary now. Yeah, I think come on. Is that right? It feels like there's some resistance here, so I'm a little worried. There we go. That feels good now. Yeah, so just hit my head on the light. There's the belt. So I just got to pop it off, I guess, off those two mounts onto the pulley. What's the betting I missed first time? And I'm going to get my clean the grease off my fingers, really. Right, there's one off, two off. Oh, it's on. Right, just going to rotate the flywheel gently and just see if it'll centre. Yes, I think it has. Thank goodness. Okay, screws in there. Let's pop this little part in. And just frightened it's going to snap. No, that's gone in. Head. Oh, there's two more to go in here. Like so. So. I'll pop them in. Right, that's that in. Right, is there any parts I forgot to put in? Right. That's a good question. So, is that in the right place? This little bit here that was referring to earlier, I think it is. So, yep, that looks good. I suppose, yeah, I'll try and get a better shot of this. The last one might have been okay, but it's dark. I ought to adjust the exposure. But so the rack and pinion there. There we go. If you, for any reason, get the tape, you can't eject the tape. That might be a way of getting in, but you can hopefully see the mechanism operating. There we go. So yeah, this is what I was struggling with earlier. There's a piece of metal, then the little piece of plastic with the sort of tooth on the end, so that's got to be under there. That's what I was struggling with earlier. Anyway, so I guess now is to start reconstructing in reverse order. I've slightly so connector going in okay. Let's have a look. Yeah, lines in there. Come on. Ooh, clonk. Was that a bit of dust I saw flying? And then the head's gone in. Oh, right. So put those two other screws back in, wherever I've put them. And then resolder. Right, switch on. Aha, well, we have a jack. That is something. I'm just going to slap a cassette in. Don't know what's on it, but fingers crossed. Right, let's see what the logic control does. Yes, my goodness, whatever's on there, it must be a very high level. Or what it could be is somebody has forgot to plug the head back in. That's rather silly of them, isn't it? Just trying to get out the door here, so that's probably why. In working, that's interesting. It tends to suggest it was oscillating. Right, let's try again. Nope, nothing on that side. Right, try rewind. I press the right button. Yeah, that's going quite nicely. Fast forward. You can tell you have two motors here. Oh yes, there's something on it. Okay, we'll try some more tests. Okay, I've connected it to a pair of powered speakers, so let's give it a listen. Okay, that seems good. Well, this is unfortunate. Belts are changed, but I just want to show you something that's happening. You may be able to see it on this video, you may not, but what we've got is tape ride problems. If you look at this pinch wheel, you see the tape, oh nasty. The tape is riding off the capstan, and there's usually a couple of reasons for that. If it's been ridden off by that, it's because it can be there's too much take-up tension, or more likely I've got a problem with the pinch wheel, it's just not gripping it. That's a bit of a problem because these pinch wheels are the type that clip in, not with a metal shaft that I'm used to, so I'm not quite sure how to address this, but what we'll do is let's see if the issue occurs in the reverse direction. So here we go. Saw the head flip round. Doesn't appear to be, does it? I always can get an idea of the tension. It's a bit naughty, but yeah, it's quite a bit of tension there. Interesting. I've removed the two pinch wheels. Now this one, which was on, whoops, wherever it went, this one is quite pliable. This one feels as hard as a rock. So what I might do is reverse them, but I'm going to have a look in my stock and just see if there's anything I can think of to try and rescue the situation. Well, I'm not quite sure how I got away with this, but somehow I've managed to lever this one off and it's got a crack in it, so not so good. Well, I've managed to pop them back in. I did support the bottom of these arms with screwdrivers. I clicked them back in because I didn't want to put too much strain on the plastic. You just don't know. But let's see, this tape is blank and it hasn't been creased, so we'll just see if the tape keeps running okay. I think the answer is yeah, that looks alright. I can't see any tape coming out. is just playing normally. So yeah, I think that's got that one going. It's very interesting because when I first opened the deck up and looked at this other pinch wheel, it was covered in something, and I thought, well, that's a bit weird. And so I'm wondering if it's reacted with something, or just whatever was in the rubber has come out. It was like almost like it had gone, how would I say, mouldy. So maybe that's what's gone wrong there. But that's looking a lot better, tape wise. I'm just playing back in the other direction here just to see if there's any issues, and there doesn't seem to be, but I think before embarking on this it's a good idea to check the condition of the pinch wheels. Just to give you an idea of how much tension is on the front, if I just pull the pinch wheel out, you can see that very easily the tape recorder can pull the tape through with out the pinch wheel. Since I've got the cassette deck on my bench, I was just going to mention these switches on the top. Well, here it is, and yes, anyone who's my age, you'll recognise these tapes, won't you? This is standard tape, and you just got 2 knockouts for cord prevention. Here's a chrome tape, and you notice there's 2 extra knockouts. That's the switch here. And finally, here's a metal tape. You can see there's a total of 4 knockouts, and that makes contact with the switch here. And that gives automatic bias and equalisation selection. So just pop your tape in and away we go. So I'll just zoom into the window. With a bit of luck, if I pop these tapes in, it should indicate what they are. Let's have a look. So put the metal in. It says type 4, so that's good. Put the chrome in. Type 2. If I put the standard tape in, type 1 comes up on the display. Cool. Something interesting, I've got a pre-recorded tape here. Says it's chrome. Here we go, chrome. But notice that there's no knockouts. I was talking to a friend of mine, and he says that's quite normal. With chrome pre-recorded tapes, they just record them at 120 microseconds equalisation rather than 70. So interesting that. But whoops, well, was a good tape. Anyway, so there we go. So that's just a little explanation of the tape types and the switches on the back and what they do. I used to use metal tapes back in the 80s. It was the only way I could get it cassette sounding close to reel, because I'm a reel-to-reel man, really. But